Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me. I've got another watercolor to share with you today. Here I'm stamping out this adorable image from Stamping Bella. The name of it is EB324 and I'll share links to that in my blog post. Here I've trimmed down some Arches cold press water paper to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches and I'm using Versamark ink. I'm going to press down really firmly on that to make sure to get a nice clean image. And then I'll go ahead and heat emboss that using Recollections black embossing powder. Here I've taped that down to my board and I'll be using my Kuretake watercolors. So there I've showed you just a picture of the stamp packaging and I'm going to follow their color scheme. This took quite a bit of time, so I've edited it down and sped things up. So for those of you who enjoy the coloring, here you go. And for those of you who don't, feel free to skip ahead. I wanted to add a night sky in the background, so I've let the picture dry completely, and now I'm applying my liquid Frisket. Now, if you watched the last watercolor from a few days ago, you'll remember that I was impatient with my Frisket. This time I let it dry overnight to be sure it was completely dry, and you'll see it worked out much better. So here I'm going to work on painting in that sky background. And now I'm going to add in my stars. So I'm using Mr. Huey's Opaque White. I'm just going to add some of that to my acrylic block, and then I will splatter that using my brush. I've let those splatters dry, and now here I'm going to remove the Frisket, and this is my favorite part. It's like magic. You'll see it worked out perfectly. I didn't have any type of bleeding or anything with that. You may notice there are a few white spaces. I'm just going to go ahead and fill those in with some of the blue that I used for the sky. I purposefully saved some of that on my acrylic block just for that reason. Here I'm going to fill in the sidewalk beneath her. And once everything dried, then I used the frame die from MFT's Blueprints 32 to trim the picture to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I'm going to pop that up on some foam tape, and I'll place it on a card base made from MFT's Boysenberry cardstock. For the inside of the card, I'm going to use the sentiment that came along with the stamp, "Get your witchy on, boo." And I'll stamp that using Simon Says Stamp Intense black ink. There you can see when I have rubber stamps that I can't see through to line up, I always practice that on a post-it note just to make sure that I have everything straight before I stamp directly on the card base. Here then, I'm going to add some washi across the bottom of the inside of the card, and then I'll go ahead and trim off the ends. Then I'll finish up by adding some Spectrum Noir glitter pen to the little ghosts, as well as the brim of her hat. That completes our card for today. Additional photos as well as a full list of supplies can be found at my blog post, listed in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.